Hey guys, the time has finally come to reveal what is going to be my best eyeshadow palette of 2022, and I don't think that this is going to come as a surprise to literally anybody who's watched my channel at all this year, because this is a palette that's been on my desk ever since I bought it, and I got this in the very beginning of the year. This is not a palette that launched this year. I'm pretty sure it launched last year, and I was very late on getting on the bandwagon to this brand. So are you ready? I'm sure you're all just like, we know what it is already, but it's of course the Blendbunny Blends palette. This is not just a rainbow palette. This is the rainbow palette of all rainbow palettes. It's the only rainbow palette that you will ever need in your collection. This is the palette that can do anything. It is such a great palette. The formula is incredible. It's pigmented, it's blendable, it's buildable. You can do whatever you want with this. You can mix and match the colors to get the tones that you want. There is not a single color that I feel like is missing in this palette for me to be super happy with this. So I have used this palette so much. I brought this traveling every single time that I've gone traveling, and it's just been amazing. So I had to put it up here because this is honestly like the palette that if I lost my whole collection, this would be the first one that I would purchase, along with like some shimmers. But I would need amazing mattes to go with all of the amazing shimmers I have in my collection. And I thought that because I got a package yesterday, I thought that since I'm gonna need some shimmers to go with this palette, because I don't do all matte looks, I got this in the mail from Sugar Drizzle, and they're coming out with the Trashed palette. So I thought that we could use this, which is an all shimmer palette. Is beautiful. So we're going to use these together just so I can kind of kill two birds with one stone here, because I don't have time to do a dedicated video with this before it launches. It launches on the 1st, I'm pretty sure. I will have the details down below in my description box and the links to these products if you're interested in picking anything up. They're also coming out with this one, which is so cool. Like, I've never seen anything like this. It's a super small all holographic shimmer palette, and I don't have any holographic shimmers in my collection, and I swatched these on my fingers when I first got it, and oh my god, they're so beautiful. But I feel like studio lighting is probably not going to do these shadows enough justice, but I'm definitely going to try to use it still because it looks so cool. So I'm not going to be able to feature these like too much in this video, but I just wanted to like let you know that they're gonna be available. They're beautiful. I have a code with both Blendbunny and with Sugar Drizzle. It's just, and it will save you 10% off both brands. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this. I'm so excited because anytime I have time to play with my Blendbunny palette, it's always just a great time. So I'm just gonna prime with my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base, and I can really do whatever I want today, which is so exciting because this is how I always do my makeup if I'm not filming. Like, I will usually either try to match my outfit, or I have like a color in mind that I really want to use, and then I figure out what shimmers to go with that, or I'll pick out a shimmer beforehand and kind of build my look around it depending on my mood. And I just think that's really fun. So I think for today's look, I'm tempted to do something kind of pinky purpley, maybe a little bit of blue sprinkled in there as well, because I feel like both of the shimmer palettes are quite pink and purple heavy, and since I'm wearing pink and I have my special INH pony in for the occasion, since it's almost New Year's, I thought I would wear this today, and I thought I would kind of be a little matchy-matchy at the end of it. So we're probably going to go for something like that. I'm thinking I'm going to start with probably the pink shade. Maybe I'll do like pink into purple into blue. Could that be kind of fun? So maybe I'll do that. I think I'm gonna start by doing a mix of these two colors. That's one of the things I love so much about this palette, is that it's so, like I said, versatile, and it has so many different tones in it. And if I see a color that is not like exactly the way that I want it to, I have the white in here, I have the black in here, but I also have different nuances of the same color. So if I wanted something in between these two, like I'll literally just go like this and then put it on my eye, and it's gonna be like the perfect in-between tone for what it is that I'm looking for. And I love doing that with this palette, and I do it so often. So I'm just gonna like see how pigmented that is. It's just insane. I'm just gonna put that in the front portion of my crease here. And the reason I'm not gonna have a lot of time to do a video with this is because I'm actually going away at the end of the month, and I have another trip planned in January as well. Both of them are for Scrabble tournaments, which if you've been around for a while, it's one of my passions. I love Scrabble. I think it's so fun. We have a great community here in Vegas. We play all the time, and I've made so many friends in the community, and going to a tournament is just the best because I get to meet all of these people that I play with online all the time, and there are so many cool people that I'm excited to hang out with. Not expecting to do well at all in the tournament because I'm at a point now where I'm doing pretty good, so I'm in the top division, but I'm not as good as most people in there, so I'm probably gonna get my ass kicked, but it'll be a good time, and I'm just excited to hang out with everybody and just, I don't know, get away for a little bit. It's always fun. So I'm going to Albany, New York for the first one, which is gonna be very, very cold, and I'm still like already trying to figure out what I'm gonna pack for that because I am a notorious overpacker. I can't help. I'm gonna do the same with the purple. I'm just gonna mix two of the purples and kind of put that on the outer portion here of my crease and then deepen it up with a dark blue, I think. But yeah, I'm an overpacker, so it's gonna take me a little while to figure out what it is that I want to bring because I like to have options when I go places. And even though I always bring a very, very large suitcase, it's always full. Like every single time, no fail. I can't help myself. It's just who I am. So I'm filming this on the 23rd. So I have another like week or so, almost a week or so to figure out what to pack. I'm honestly probably gonna start packing tomorrow and just kind of laying things out on the bed, figuring out which outfits I want to wear. Please tell me I'm not the only one who does this. Like I can't be the only crazy person out there because I'm sure there are other people who are just like me. I just don't know a lot of people like me. So let me know that I'm not alone. Because sometimes I feel like that because a lot of the people that I hang out with are not really into fashion, not really into makeup, and they don't care that much about like stuff. I like stuff. I'll be the first to admit I love stuff. I'm not a materialistic person, but I like stuff. Like I wouldn't be like upset if I lost all the things that I had. I mean, of course I would, but I don't have like sentimental emotions attached to my stuff, but I like stuff. I just like having options. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing underneath my eye here. Like I said, I'm gonna deepen it up with the blue, but I'm just kind of leaving that off until I've gotten these two colors on my eye. I love this formula so much. It's just amazing. Every time I use it, I just get reminded like how much I love this palette because it just always does what I want it to do. Is that so much to ask for in an eyeshadow? Is just to work? But apparently it is because not all eyeshadows can do this, and that is why this palette is so good. So I am going to blend a little bit more between these colors, but I'm just trying to get the colors down before I do anything else. I think I'm gonna take, again, I'm tempted to like mix these two because I want something a little bit darker than this one, but not as dark as this. So I'm just gonna dip my brush back and forth into these two colors. And I'm just gonna put that in the outer corner of my, every time I use this palette, I'm just so impressed, and it's almost like I forget how good it is in between, and then I go to use it again, and it just reminds me why I love it so much and why it's the best palette ever. Because look at the depth of that. It's just so good, and it builds so well. Like remember when I used the ColourPop palette? Like the comparison between the two is just night and day because this is just. If you don't have this palette, you're missing out. That's all I'm gonna say. Gonna take a little bit of that down to my lower lash line just to connect the outer part here. I'm definitely going in too heavy with this because I'm getting some fallout, but that is no fault of the palette at all. That is simply me being too impatient and not wanting to build up slowly because I can't help myself. I just don't do that. Just taking a little bit more of that pink mixture, and I'm just going to make sure that the blend between the colors right here is looking nice. It doesn't have to be perfect because I am going to layer shimmers over a lot of this, but I just want to put a little bit more of this right here, and that's really all I'm going to do for the mattes, I think. But just look how good everything just blends together. I mean, that is why Blendbunny is called Blendbunny, because everything blends itself. You almost don't even have to do anything with it because it just looks great. Let's see, I'm gonna take a little bit of, I think I'm just gonna take some of this one, this alone, and I'm just gonna use that just to blend out the edges a little bit. This is the shade called Giggle. I love this shade. It's such a beautiful purple. I'm just gonna run that over the edge ever so slightly here. Just bring in a little bit of this color. I don't want this to like get out of hand at all, but I just think it's gonna be fun to have a bit as an accent piece. I think that looks nice. And then let's go ahead and use some shimmers. Like I said, I'm not going to be able to use a lot of these, but I really want to try one of these holographic ones because I'm just so curious what they're going to look like on the eyes. Now, don't be fooled, this palette is very, very tiny, so if you get this, just be aware that like this is the size of my finger. So the reason why this is so small is just because apparently these kind of pigments are super expensive, so it's just a better way for the brand to give us a chance to try out a lot of shades to make them a lot smaller, because that way they can give us more than just like one, you know, if they wanted to do a regular size eyeshadow. So I'm just going to take that glitter primer all over my lid here, and I think I'm going to use probably one of these and then one of the shades in the other palette. But I really just want to put one of these kind of all over my lid just to see what it's going to look like. I think I'm going to take, I'm tempted to use both of these. I'm going to start with this one and just kind of see where it goes and see what happens. So my brush actually fits perfectly into this pan, which is great. Like I was worried it would be a little too small almost. Wow. Okay, that is so beautiful. Like I have never used a holographic eyeshadow before, so I wasn't really sure what to expect, but it has tiny little glitters in it, like not actual glitter, but it's just very glittery, like there's a distinction there. And it's almost like, is it a gray based shadow or does it look kind of gray because of the hollow? I feel like everything that's hollow is kind of gray looking, but the shimmers that are in here are so pretty, and I feel like in natural lighting this is gonna look insane. So I might actually bring this little palette on my trip. I do plan on doing like a diary of trip looks again like I did last time I was gone, because you guys who watched that seem to really enjoy it, and it's fun for me to kind of document the looks that I do when I'm not filming and stuff too. But I really like this shadow. This is so pretty. And these shadows are also extremely smooth in the pan, like they almost felt a bit kind of velvety when I went to swatch them and put my fingers in them. So I'm curious to see how they're going to wear. Sometimes shadows that feel super smooth can crease a little bit on me, but I feel like these are gonna wear well just from the way that they're laying on my lids, but only time will tell. So I'm tempted to use, this one has a very strong kind of shift to it that I'm not sure if it's gonna go with the rest of this look. I think I'm just gonna dig into the other palette here and use one of the shades in here in my inner corner, and I'm probably gonna use this shade because that is probably going to be my favorite shade in this palette. Like I can already tell it's the kind of texture that I just love so much, and so I just want to use it. I'm just going to put that on the front portion of my lid. I'm probably going to end up layering this a little bit over that hollow as well. So it's just so pretty. I love this look already. I feel like this is a very unexpected duochrome as well. I was definitely thinking that this would be more just kind of lavendery, but it has such a strong green shift to it that I'm not mad at all. I think that is actually really, really cool, and it makes this shade so much more special. So maybe I will bring these two palettes on my trip as my only shimmers. Maybe I'll bring something else as well, because I do feel like I'm, well, if I bring my Blendbunny highlighting palette, I probably have everything I would need for a week of being gone, or 6 nights is when I'm going to be gone. I'm probably also not going to be able to post a ton in January. I figured I would just kind of get these updates out of the way because I feel like a lot of you are probably going to watch this video, so it seemed like a good place to do that. But I also have a friend who's going to be visiting in January, so I don't know how much time I'm going to have to like film and edit and stuff, but it is what it is. I'm not going to stress myself out over things, and I also don't have a lot of things pre-filmed for when I am going away because December has been busy enough as is, and I've been spending a lot of time trying to get better at Scrabble, so sorry not sorry. Let's see, do I want to do, oh, this looks so good though. I cannot get over those shimmers. Those are so pretty, and obviously the mattes look good. I think this is all I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do something turquoise in my waterline to kind of tie in with the front portion of my lid here. I think that could be fun. This one is from Udensai. It's the shade 4. I think that was a really good choice. I just went ahead and popped on some lashes and some highlighter, and I'm using the Noctilucent palette from Blendbunny. I'm just using this shade right here on my face and my nose, and I could probably put a little bit of this on my brow bone as well. Actually, I'm gonna use this one on my brow bone because I like this one a little bit more because it's lighter. So I'm just gonna pop some of that right here. And I think that's basically going to be the look. I really like this, and I feel like this look is very representative of how I do my makeup when I'm not filming, or how I would do my makeup if I didn't have a YouTube channel. Like, this is how I prefer doing my makeup if I'm not reviewing something. I usually tend to use 2 different palettes, and just this year at least I've been very into mixing all matte palettes with all shimmer palettes. Sometimes I'll pull for, you know, full complete palettes, but I really enjoy doing my makeup like this because I just think it's fun. Like, I just really, I don't know, I feel like I'm able to do what it is that I'm envisioning and what it is that I want to do by pulling from different places like this. So this is going to be my top palette of the year. Let me know if you have this palette, and if you don't have this palette, don't sleep on it. I mean, honestly, if you're into color, you kind of need this in your collection, even if you have other rainbow palettes, because this really is just the best. It's going to take over every other rainbow palette in your collection, and you're not going to regret it, I promise. Also, if you're interested in these, like I said, it will be linked down below in my description box, as well as my codes and everything else. So that's gonna be it for today. I don't know what and when my next video is going to be. I feel like this is probably going to be the last video that I post this year. So happy New Year's to everybody. Happy holidays. I hope you all had a great time. I don't know when this video is going up, but I will see you again in the new year at some point. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see my top 5, if you missed the other countdown videos, I'll put my playlist up on the screen. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.